Another day, another breaking election news story, and this is a big one that could literally shape the outcome of the presidential race. You may remember, a little over a week ago, the New York Times published a rather opinionated and, in my opinion, naive opinion piece titled, "To serve his country, President Biden should leave the race." While they acknowledged his admirable service and accomplishments following Biden's less-than-stellar debate performance, their argument essentially boiled down to, he's too old, suggesting the Democratic Party needs a stronger candidate to face Trump. But these calls for Biden to step aside for the good of the country have seemingly vanquished with today's editorial, which might just be the most biting takedown I've ever read. In a scathing critique titled, "Donald Trump is unfit to lead," the New York Times editorial board moved beyond rambling about debate performance, where, let's be honest, nobody exactly came out looking great. The article leads in with a series of bullet points. He is dangerous in word, deed, and action. He puts self over country, and he loathes the laws we live by. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the fact that this is the man who could be elected president. It's nice to see the New York Times step back and appreciate that terrifying possibility. They go on to write he's quite simply unfit to lead, emphasizing his thirst for power, systematic dishonesty, and dangerous impulses. The piece also warned how Trump's leadership has coarsened America's political landscape, and how his return to power would be catastrophic. Pointing to examples of his misconduct, they wrote, "Mr. Trump has shown a character unworthy of the responsibilities of the presidency. He has demonstrated an utter and complete lack of respect for the Constitution, the rule of law, and the American people. Mr. Trump is animated by a thirst for political power, to use the levers of government to advance his interests, satisfy his impulses, and exact retribution against those he thinks have wronged him." Remember January 6th? Well, the Times didn't hold back in reminding everyone of Trump's role in that dark day. They highlighted how his actions have left America more divided and less secure, writing on January 6, 2021, Mr. Trump incited a mob to violence with hateful lies, and that no man fit for the presidency would flock such pernicious and destructive lies about democratic norms and values. This is a critical fact, and the fact that it actually happened will never cease to astound me, never mind the fact that the man who essentially orchestrated the ordeal has any support at all. It's just one of many incidents that clearly show how Trump repeatedly undermines democratic norms and values for personal gain. And it's not just the editorial board's opinion. Former officials from Trump's own administration, like John Kelly and Bill Barr, have publicly questioned his fitness for office. John Kelly didn't hold back when he described Trump as a person who admires autocrats and murderous dictators, a person that has nothing but contempt for our democratic institutions, our Constitution, and the rule of law. Bill Barr stated, "He will always put his own interest and gratifying his own ego ahead of everything else, including the country's interest." So I think we can safely say the New York Times aren't big fans of Mr. Trump. But I have to ask, why the sudden shift in opinion? Why call for Biden to step aside one week, only to launch a full-scale attack on Trump the next? Well, here's my take. The stakes are incredibly high. The Times did raise some legitimate concerns about Biden, many of which are shared by voters who continue to support him. But as the election draws near, we're looking at the bigger picture, and it's clear the very real threat of a second Trump term outweighs any concerns about a one-off debate performance. In no uncertain terms, the Times is making a clear and urgent appeal to the American people, explaining that Trump's return to power would be catastrophic for the country. They wrote, "Mr. Trump is the antithesis of everything America stands for. His actions and words have consistently shown a disregard for basic right and wrong, and a clear lack of moral fitness for the responsibilities of the presidency." While it's important to acknowledge Biden's debate performance, we also need to address Trump's proven lies and misconduct, both during the debate and in almost every instance outside of it. The American people deserve more than an incoherent liar for a president. Biden's presidency has been marked by significant achievements and a return to normalcy after the chaos of the Trump years. The previous critique of Biden is based on concerns on age and one-off debate performance, not his overall ability to lead, because that's been proven. Trump, on the other hand, has repeatedly shown he's completely incompetent. He's proven time and time again, throwing every red flag squarely in our faces. This really is a matter of right versus wrong. The decision should be clear, and it deeply worries me that it's even a question for some people. But don't just take my word for it. Take it from the New York Times. Trump is unfit to lead. And now I want to hear from you. What do you think about the Times' assessment of the situation? And what about Biden? Why do you think they've shifted their stance so dramatically? Leave a comment below and let's keep this discussion going.